We'll start with intellectual property rights. Intellectual property rights. Can we see from the name itself that it is talking about something of intellect, something of our mind, right? So let's talk about physical property. What are the laws that govern physical property? What laws govern? I'm talking about a land. So what governs a land? What law governs a land? Can anyone give me an example? Transfer of Property Act, exactly. Any other laws that governs physical property? Let's talk about a product. It's a physical property. So what governs a product? Say a goods or services, Sale of Goods Act. So these are all the laws that govern physical property. Now we are going out of the domain of what is a physical property and we're talking about property of our mind. What is the property of a mind? Something that we innovate from our creativity and our right thinking, right? So when we innovate something of our mind, suppose I innovate a poem or I innovate, suppose an idea that is very unique and the other person couldn't think of it. It's a very unique idea. To me, it's my property. It's an intellectual property. But how do I protect it? The other person can come and say that this was my idea also. I was thinking about it in my mind. I wrote the idea, I created the idea, I worked on the idea. It's my intellectual property. And the other person, when I told him my idea, he said, I was also thinking the same thing in my mind. Right? So, how do we protect this? Land में तो मेरे property papers हैं. But intellectual property जो मेरे दिमाग में है, उसको मैं कैसे protect करूँ? वो भी बोल सकते हैं. They can also say, no, this was, I thought of this idea last night when I was sleeping. You can say that, right? So intellectual property rights are to protect our intellectual property, which happens in our mind, our creativity, and there are laws for this. There was a need to invent laws for this. If I wrote a book, someone doesn't copy the storyline of my book. This is the basis of intellectual property rights. Okay? What is the purpose of IPR law? There has to be land laws, we know the purpose is to save the land from encroachment, we are getting rights. But okay, what is the purpose of your intellectual property rights? And we will summarize this in 3 points. First is that our innovation. Second, economic interest. And I'll explain how they are related. And third is your balance between public and private rights. Now, how they are related to your IPR? What role does innovation has to play here? When we are talking about the role of IPR rights, IPR laws, what role does innovation has to play? Can anyone answer me? These are your purpose of IPR laws, 3 major purposes of IPR law. Can you give me an example? How does innovation plays a role in solving the purpose of IPR law? Yeah. Basically, they are incentivizing innovation, right? Because if some law is protecting my innovation, I will be motivated and encouraged to do more, right? If suppose I had an idea, I gave it, and I got nothing out of it, okay? No monetary investment, no emotional investment, no encouragement, nothing. Why should I work on my idea? Why should I put it to public? I'll just keep it to myself, right? So incentivizing innovation is your first purpose of IPR laws. IPR laws, since they are not tangible, they are intangible, so there is a need to encourage creators, right? Copyright, जैसे copyrights होते हैं, books होती हैं, movies होती हैं, theaters, dramas. So if they are not getting any encouragement or motivation, why would they want to innovate more, right? So first role of IPR laws is your innovation. Second, economic interest, okay? That it protects your economic interest. I produced something and it is being protected. Not everyone can use it. We will go into the details of for how much time we can save our copyright, for how much time trademark law is saved, how much money we can give it for reproduction. Only we have the right to give it for reproduction. So all the money that will come out of my creativity will come to me and no one else. Okay, this is your second point, that economic interest is protected through IPR laws. And if someone tries to do something against my work, there is punishment also, there is penalties also. Okay, who give these penalties, who give these punishment? Our acts, our laws, Copyright Act, Trademark Act, all the acts, they govern what punishment, and you can get an injunction if someone is violating your right? So this is your second role of IPR law. It protects economic interest and balance between public and private rights. See, I have a private right. I created something. I created a book, or I wrote a very good plot of a book. Let's take for Shakespeare, for example. So many beautiful stories. Now he has the copyright. For how long? Will the public benefit from it? When will the public benefit from it? Can the public use it as a play and use his stories and dramas to create something? Can the public do that? There is a limit. So there has to be a balance between what I created and when the public can use it. So IPR does that also. Understanding? IPR, if I have a private right, doesn't mean now I have the exclusive control forever. It's not for a lifetime. There is a limit, 60 years, suppose death of the author, plus 60 years. For different IPRs, there is different timeline when it will be accessible to the public. So every author, there will be a time limit till which we will give your private rights exclusive, and then it will be accessible to the public. Now public will do anything with it. We can use the work, we can readapt, we can reuse, whatever we want to do with it, we can do that. So after a certain, there is a limit. To balance private and public rights. You suppose, let's say you had an idea, it is very good, now the public wants to use it. Now you can't just keep it forever. You have to share, public should benefit from the idea. So that's how there is a balance between public and private rights.